Good morning. Welcome to Basic Electrical Engineering, Unit 4 Electrical Machines, Lecture 21 on DC motors. As you have seen, the syllabus of Unit 4 can be categorized as four different machines: three-phase induction motor, single-phase induction motor, DC motor, and synchronous generator. And we are dealing with DC motors. So today's topic is DC motor, torque speed characteristics, and speed control. The classification, as we have seen, DC machine can be classified into separately excited, self-excited, and self-excited can further be classified as series shunt and compound, and compound can further be classified as cumulatively compound and differentially compound, wherein cumulative compound has long shunt and short shunt, and differentially compound also has long shunt and short shunt types of machines. What is a self-excited machine? We have already seen these topics in the previous lecture. So in order to revise once again, we are doing this. So in this type of machines, field winding is connected across the main voltage terminals instead of separate voltage source. It's a self-excited. So field windings are connected to the same voltage source. Self-excited motors are of three types. They are series, shunt, and compound. DC shunt motor, DC series motor, and DC compound motor. And now separately excited DC motors. In this type of motors, field winding is excited by a separate DC source. This is a field winding which is excited by a separate DC source. As I have told you, this is the armature. The armature winding and field winding are electrically separate from each other. This is the main point of separately excited DC motors. No, separately. There is no direct connection between the armature and field resistance. DC field current is supplied by an independent source such as battery or any other generator or prime mover called as exciter and so on. That's a separately excited DC. This is the separately excited DC motor wherein the field winding is excited by some uh, external DC source, and this is the armature. Uh, EA or EB is the back EMF, RA is the armature resistance, this is armature inductance, this is field resistance RF, terminal voltage VT, this is field voltage VF. So generally EA or EB is given by 2 pi Z phi by 60 into C, or KNF directly you can write it as, and VF is equal to IF into RF. IF is the current, field current, RF is the field resistance, and VT is equal to EA voltage here or EB plus IA into RA. IA is the armature current, RA is the armature resistance. Now torque, we have already seen this. R represents average armature radius, L is the effective length, Z is the total number of conductors, A is the parallel paths, IA is the armature current, I is the current per conductor, that is IA by A, and B is the average flux density, phi is the flux per pole, and P is number of poles, and area of cross section of flux per pole can be given as 2 pi r L actually, by per pole is P. So force on each conductor is BIL. Torque due to one conductor is BIL into force into displacements, that is average armature radius R. The torque, as we know, I is equal to Ia by A. In the last slide we have seen B is equal to 5 by A, and A is replaced by 2 pi RL by P per pole, and torque is equal to torque due to one conductor into total number of armature conductors. So BILR into Z, if you substitute the values B and I, you will get TA is equal to 1 by 2 pi or 0.159 phi A Z P by A. Z P by A, all these are constants, so T is proportional to flux into armature current. So this is the expression for torque. Hence, for a given DC motor, torque developed in its armature depends on the flux per pole and the armature current taken by it. Now, in order to effectively use a DC motor for an application, it is necessary to understand its characteristic curves. For every motor, there is a specific torque speed curve and power curve. The relation between torque and speed is important in choosing a DC motor for a particular application. This is the reason why we are learning torque speed characteristics, because it's very important to choose a particular DC motor for an uh, designed or particular application. So before analyzing the various characteristics of motor, let us revise the torque. That is, torque is proportional to phi into A, where Pz by A are constants. They are the design parameters of the machine. Now flux is produced by the field winding and is proportional to the current passing through the field winding. When terminal voltage and flux are kept constant, the torque speed relationship is a straight dropping line. Now the graph below shows a this is a graph. The graph below shows a torque speed curve of a separately excited DC motor. In your syllabus, it is given that torque speed characteristics and speed control methods of separately excited DC motor. So we are only confined to separately excited DC motor, torque speed characteristics and speed control methods. So you also have the torque speed characteristics and speed control methods for these self-excited machines or motor. It is different for series DC shunt motor, DC series motor and DC compound motor. You also have torque speed characteristics and control methods, but as per your syllabus you only have separately excited DC motor, torque speed characteristics and control methods. So we are learning this torque speed characteristics of a separately excited DC motor. Torque is inversely proportional to the speed of the output shaft. Motor characteristics are frequently given as 2 points on this graph. This is a graph which is drooping straight line. The stall torque represents the point on the graph at which torque is maximum but the shaft is not rotating. This is the point where this is called as stall torque, where the torque is maximum but speed is zero. The shaft is not rotating, and this is a point called as no load speed or normal operating range. The no load speed is the maximum output speed of the motor, wherein you have maximum speed when no torque is applied to the output shaft. That was about torque speed characteristics. And now looking at speed control of separately excited DC motor. No. We know that the back EMF of separately excited DC motor is given by EB is equal to K into omega m is equal to Vt minus IaRa. So you can see Vt is equal to Ea plus IaRa, or Ea is equal to, or Eb you can write it as Ea or Eb. Eb is equal to Vt minus IaRa. That is what I have written here. And speed, from this if you can write Vt minus IaRa by K, where K is a constant, and K into omega is the angular speed. From this equation, it is evident that the speed can be varied by using any of the following methods. You can vary this speed by these three methods. You can vary Vt, or you can vary field current, or you can vary field control method, or you can also vary Ra. So these are three different methods by which you can change the speed, control the speed. Now, speed of this type of DC motors is separately excited machine. Speed control. The speed of this type of DC machine is controlled by the following methods. As I told you, field control methods, field rheostat control, field voltage control, and armature control methods, armature resistance control, armature terminal voltage control. These are the different types which we can use in controlling the speed of a separately excited DC machine. Now, how do you do that? Field control method. Weakening of field causes increase in the speed of the motor, while strengthening the field causes the decreasing the speed. Now, field in the sense flux. When you increase the flux, motors when weakening the field, that means if you are decreasing the flux, speed will increase, and if you are increasing the flux, speed will decrease. Now, speed adjustment of this type of motor is achieved by these methods. Field rheostat control. You can place a resistance. Here a variable resistance is connected in series with the field coil, that is field winding. The speed is controlled by means of the flux variation. Now, reluctance control involving variation of a reluctance of magnetic circuit is also possible. Now, what is field voltage control? By varying the voltage at the field circuit while keeping armature terminal voltage constant, you can also vary the speed of the motor. Now, the armature control methods. Speed adjustment of separately excited DC motor by armature control method can be obtained by these methods. Armature resistance control. Here, speed is controlled by varying the source voltage to armature. Generally, a variable resistance is provided with the armature to vary the armature resistance. And armature terminal voltage control involve involves variation of voltage in an armature circuit. So these are the different methods of speed control of separately excited DC motor. Now, field flux control method, variation of flux or flux control method. By decreasing the flux, as I told you, the speed can be increased and vice versa, because speed and flux are inversely related. The flux of a DC motor can be changed by changing shunt resistance with the help of a shunt field rheostat or field winding resistance. Since ISH is relatively small, shunt field rheostat has to carry a small current, which means I square R loss is small, so that the rheostat is small in size. That is field control method. Once again we'll see that. No, the field control can be changed by varying a adjustable rheostat. As you can see, there is adjustable rheostat that is placed in the field winding circuit. By increasing the value of the total field resistance, field current can be reduced and therefore speed can be increased. The relation between the field current and angular speed is shown in the graph. So this is the relation between the field current and the angular speed. So by connecting a resistance here and by varying the value of this resistance, you can control the speed of the motor. Armature control. This method is used when the speeds below the no load speeds are required. As the supply is normally constant, the voltage across the armature is varied by inserting a rheostat in series with the armature circuit. As the control resistance is increased, voltage across the armature is decreased, thereby decreasing the armature speed. For a load constant torque, speed is approximately proportional to the voltage across the armature control method. Armature control method, the voltage across the armature can be varied by inserting a variable resistance in series with the armature circuit, that is, as I have told you in the previous slide also. For a load of constant torque, as the armature resistance is increased, speed decreases. As the armature resistance is increased, speed will decrease. As the actual resistance of the armature winding is fixed for a given motor, the overall resistance in the armature circuit can be increased by inserting an additional variable resistance in series with the armature. That is what is done here. Is the armature resistance and extra resistance is placed in order to increase the resistance, thereby speed reduces. This method provides smooth control of speed. This is a variation of speed with external armature resistance. As you increase the resistance, speed will decrease. And this is the expression for us. Now, Watt-Leonard method system or method, it's one of the important method where in field control you can get the speeds above the base speed, whereas in armature control you will get the speeds below the base speed. Using Watt-Leonard system, you can get both above the base speed and below the base speed. It is combined armature and field control. That's the reason. This control is consisting of a DC motor and powered by a DC generator. So this method has a DC motor and generator set. Speed of the motor is controlled by applying variable voltage across its armature. This variable voltage is obtained using a motor generator set, which consists of a motor, either AC or DC, directly coupled with the generator. Speed of the motor is controlled by applying variable voltage across its armature, and it is very widely used method for speed control of DC motor. This is the arrangement wherein you have, this is a generator, this is the motor, and in order to run this generator you are connecting an AC motor, and to this you are connecting a main motor. This is a motor connection, and these are the resistors that are connected, by using which you can change the voltage across the armature winding. In the figure shown, M is a separately excited DC motor, M, whose speed is to be controlled, and G is a separately excited generator driven by a 3-phase induction motor. This is an induction motor. The combination of AC motor and DC generator is called as motor generator set. This is called as motor generator set. It converts AC to DC, which is fed to the main motor. It converts AC to DC, which is fed to the main motor. In Watt-Leonard method, in classical method, a Watt-Leonard's method with rotating machines is used for speed control of DC motors. The system uses motor generator set to control the speed of the DC motor. Normally, AC motor run at constant speed is used as a prime mover, as we have seen in the previous slide. And what happens actually? The system is operated in two control methods. One is voltage control and the current control. terminal voltage. In armature voltage control mode, the motor current is kept constant at its rated value. The generated field current is changed such that voltage changes from 0 to rated value. And in current control, the field current control mode is used to obtain speeds above the base speed, and voltage control is used to obtain the speeds below the base speed. In current control mode, the armature voltage remains constant and motor field current is decreased to obtain higher speeds. So as you can see, armature control, you obtain the speeds below this base speed, and field control you'll have above the base speed. And this is a constant torque, this is a constant power line, and this is a constant power, and this is a constant torque line. It's variation of torque versus speed and power versus speed curves. Now, because there are some experiments in your laboratory, speed control of DC shunt motor, flux control method and field control method. Shunt motor, as you know, this is armature and there is a field winding. And this is armature and there is a field winding. You can connect a resistance. If you connect a resistance in field winding circuit in series to field winding, it is flux control method. If you connect a resistance to armature or the motor, it is a armature control method. As I told you, in armature control method you'll get the speeds below the base speed, and in field control methods you'll get the speeds above the base speeds. So to control the flux, a rheostat is added in series with the field winding as shown in the circuit diagram. Adding more resistance in series with field winding will increase the speed as it decreases the flux. In armature control, when the supply voltage and the armature resistance are kept constant, speed is directly proportional to the armature current. Thus, if we add a resistance in series with armature current decreases and hence speed also decreases. So these are some of the applications of motors. You may be asked in your exam about write the applications of a shunt motor or a series motor or cumulative compound, differentially compound. Characteristics of a shunt motor: speed is fairly constant and medium starting torque. And series motor, high starting torque, no load condition is dangerous. And cumulative compound, high starting torque, no load condition is allowable. Differentially compounded, speed increases and load increases. Now applications of shunt are, it is used in blowers, fans, centrifugals, reciprocating pumps, lathe machines, machine tools, milling machines, drilling machines. These are some of the applications of shunt motors. And in series motors, they are the series motors are used in cranes, elevators, hoists, conveyors, electrical locomotives. And cumulative compound motors are used in rolling mills, punchers, shears, heavy planers, elevators, etc. Uh, Differentially compound are not actually suitable for any practical applications as such. So this is the end of your lecture 21, Basic Electrical Engineering, Unit 4 on DC motors. Today we have seen torque speed characteristics of separately excited DC motor and also speed control methods of separately excited DC motor along with the speed control of shunt motor. Thank you.